is Canny Couple. I'm Julia, Aaron's behind the camera today. Today I want to show you how to make homemade ricotta cheese, and by the end of this video we're going to see if it's actually cheaper to make it at home with all costs involved versus buying it at the grocery store. But before we get started, we would really appreciate it if you would hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. So, cheese is expensive.
Especially ricotta.
Especially ricotta. And I have to say ricotta cheese is probably our favorite.
It's one of our favorites.
It's one of our tops. We don't get it as often. We actually get it more now that we can make it homemade versus before. And I have some milk that's going to go bad. I need to use up a gallon. We got a little bit too ahead on our milk, which is good because I can use it. Now, a lot of people would say, well, put it in your freezer, use it that way, and use it as you need it for baking needs. Well, actually, I can just make ricotta cheese, and when my freeze dryer is cooled off, I can put it into my freeze dryer and freeze dry it and have shelf-stable ricotta cheese at any time. That is my ultimate goal, is to have a never-ending cycle of supply of ricotta cheese to put on pizzas, pastas, anything at all that we would want ricotta cheese on, because we really do like it. It is definitely one of our favorites, and it is so easy to make homemade. It takes 3 things. It takes a pot, milk, and lemon juice or vinegar. That's it, and a little bit of time. So I'm going to do 1.5 gallons here. Total cost for my milk is $4.50, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up my pot. You want to be careful. I'm always worried about splashing. And you want to get a good sized pot. I'm always careful. I don't like to use stainless steel whenever I'm cooking things like this because I feel like milk scorches very quickly. It's one of the fastest things to scorch. So I'm always really careful about using milk. I keep this one open.
And if you see all the apples on both sides, that's because we are in the process of canning apples today as well. Getting ready to can apples.
Yep, we're doing all the prep work to can. We've got some vinegar started here to get that started, and but yeah, getting apples canned. We're probably going to have about, what do you think, 20 quarts of apples?
Hopefully.
I hope so. I'd like 30. 30 is a good number for us. We're just going to keep adding a full gallon. And now I think I'm a little hesitant to add that full gallon. So we're going to save that. We'll use that tonight for the baby. So here's where science comes into play. But I don't actually do the sciencey stuff. I've tried it. It doesn't work for me. You want to get your milk cooking up to around 180 degrees. The numbers vary recipe to recipe. You can see 170, 200. They're all different. I typically get it to a nice, good, very slow simmer and keep it on a low heat for about 40 minutes to an hour. That's my go-to number here, 40 minutes to an hour, and I just let it cook. Watch it, don't let it scorch. If it does scorch, do not scrape the bottom of your pot. You're just going to let your milk cook. That's all we're doing. You're going to stir occasionally. So I'm going to get this started, letting it get up to its heat temperature. I'm going to put it on medium. It tends to work the best for us. Maybe a medium, about like a 5 right now to get it started. Put my lid on so, oops, got caught in the eye there. Put my lid on it so it keeps the heat where it needs to be, and just start letting this cook. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to let it cook for about an hour. And then we'll kind of show you after an hour what it looks like, how I can kind of tell that it's at the right temperature. And then we'll add the lemon juice, depending on what you do, lemon juice or vinegar. We use vinegar to actually cause the separation between the milk and get the kernels for the ricotta cheese. So we'll be back here in a little bit after it cooks. So it's been an hour and my milk is at that temperature that I like to see. You can kind of tell it looks like it's thicker. You can feel it, and you can kind of see the bubbles on the top. That tells me that I'm ready to go ahead and add the vinegar. Now you can use lemon juice if you prefer. A lot of people do use lemon juice, but I've had more failures from lemon juice than I have ever had using vinegar, and I've done them both. If I use vinegar, I've not had a failure yet. It has not curdled with lemon juice for me before. I actually had to go pull out vinegar to get it to curdle correctly. So just a thought, do whatever you feel comfortable with. I like the vinegar, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add between 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 of a cup. I'll know because it's going to separate really quickly. So I'm just going to eyeball it here, and then I'm going to stir. You can see how it started to separate, and it looks like I might need to add a little bit more. Not quite where it didn't quite get enough in there, so there we go. And it happens so fast. I mean, it's like instant. And this liquid here, that's the whey, and then this is your ricotta. So that's what you're looking for, that thick stuff there. And people do reuse the whey. We do not. I've really not found a good use for it that's good for our house. So I'm gonna move my little colander here, and I have a colander with some cheesecloth in it. I found this works the best with me, sitting on a bowl. And now I'm gonna separate it out. Just gonna pull out all my milk and get that through. And it's going to take me a few minutes to get this done, and once we get this separated, we'll come back and we'll look at it and we'll talk about the next step. So we've got our pot fully drained here. You can tell all the liquids out. You can see it got a little brown. That's normal. It's going to happen with milk. But this is how much we've got, and this is a pretty good size. And I'll kind of pull the cheesecloth together here. And so that's how much we ended up with. And we also had some waste. You can tell it's still dripping because we're still getting moisture out of your ricotta. You want to get as much liquid out of it as possible. You kind of squeeze it a bit. If you would like, you don't want to squeeze it too hard because it will start to come through the cheesecloth. So what we want to do is we want to let this sit. You want to let it sit for about an hour, 2 hours, till it stops dripping and it looks really dry and fluffy. At that point, you will actually come back and we're going to weigh how much we've got in here, and we're going to price compare what we get at the grocery store versus what we can make at home. So it's been a little bit of time, and my ricotta is finally finished. As you can see, I've kind of had it sitting here, and it is nice and firm. It's beautiful. It looks amazing. It always looks amazing. And now we're going to weigh it out and see if it's more cost effective. So we did the math, and the cheapest one we could find in Walmart was 14 cents an ounce. So I've got a bowl here, got a scale. Let's see, where am I at? And we're not going to take the cost of the bowl, so we'll just put it over. I'm going to put the spoon over here just for a second, and then we'll take it right back out. It's a little bit messy doing it this way. Normally I wouldn't be weighing this out, but I do want to see. I'm very curious to see if this is going to be more cost effective, and everything is clean. My hands are clean. And I can scrape this a little bit more too. What does it say?
Well, it's varying so much right now till you get your hands off of it.
Okay. Oof, I got a big mess. What's it say?
169.
Okay. 1 pound. That doesn't seem quite right. No, I don't think that's right. I do not. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, now we're back. And I've got another bowl, and I've got to switch to pure ounces and not pound and ounces. So we're going to try it out now. And I'm sorry, the little one is fussing a bit. And I actually think it's going to be cheaper to buy it. Because this is not going to be 32 ounces. See? There. I don't think it's going to be 32, but it's going to be closer to like 20 cents an ounce. I can tell you now it's going to be more expensive. We're at 22 ounces of what we just made. Now, I could have made an error, and I really feel like I did because I should have more ricotta than that. So let's do the math. It is
22.79.
Yep, we're at 23 cents versus 14. So it's actually quite a bit different. So
Yep.
I'm going to retest this because I think I might have made an error somewhere. But we're going to retest it. But it is cheaper to buy ricotta at this rate than it is to make it at home. So we did find something out, and we tested out and did the math. We're looking at costs to run the electricity. We're looking at the cost of the vinegar, the cost of the milk. All three things that we needed for this project.
The only thing is, if you need to use up some milk, it's a
great way to do it.
It's a great way. Also, you know,
it tastes really good.
Well, yeah. There's nothing else. You know what goes in this.
Yes.
If you want to look at the ingredients, what goes into the ones you buy at the store as well.
Right. That's the other thing. If you're looking to get more simplistic with your ingredients, you want to know what's in them, this is the way to go. I probably will still keep making our own ricotta because we do prefer the taste of homemade to store-bought, and getting that freeze-dried. But again, I need to retest this because I think I might have made a mistake somewhere, and I just don't know where I made it, but we will see. And it could have been that my milk something was wrong with my milk and it had more whey in it than normal because we did feel like it was not curdled enough. So maybe I didn't cook it long enough. Maybe I cooked it too long. Could have been any number of factors. So, any final thoughts?
No, all I can say is I'll enjoy eating it.
He will. And we will be testing this out in the freeze dryer. And as always, thank you for joining us on the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a wonderful day.